welcome to another exciting edition of P&B Sports Show. I'm your host, Abel Sunday, and today we'll turn our attention to the Nigerian Basketball Premier League Final 8 in Port Harcourt, which reached to its thrilling climax over the weekend. It was a tournament filled with intensity, passion, and top-class basketball. What a finish it was. The Nigerian Customs side wrapped it all up in style, securing a top 4 spot to crown an impressive campaign. Joining me to break it all down is our ever-trusted basketball analyst, Christian Osaigede, as we take a closer look at the highlights and the standout performances and what it means for the growth of Nigerian basketball. Grab your teacup because P&B Sports start now. It's P&B Sports Show, reaching you live from the nation's capital. And of course, I've been joined by Christian Osaigede, a basketball analyst. Christian, what a finish that was. We could see the intensity, and you remember we talked about this when the first day of the final 8 in Port Harcourt. You were in the studio and we talked about this, and you even made your predictions around the top 4. But quite unfortunate, your prediction did not. your sleep caught, so you don't really enter. but what a finish! We saw basketball to the highest level last week. I don't know. Let me have your thought about the final day before we could go into details.
Okay, I will say a very good morning to P&B crew. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Abuja. And good morning, Mr. Sunday Abel. I'm happy to be in this show again as usual. I'm so happy. Well, Nigerian basketball has raised the bar for us. And seeing the final 8 over there in Port Harcourt has brought a lot of talk to the fans' mouth. You know, it was an action-packed final 8. It was an action-packed, so many predictions that did not go through, most especially my prediction. Most especially my prediction. But I would say a very big kudos to NBBF for coming out with this final 8 in Port Harcourt, and also for the teams that participated, for also raising the bar. And I must say a very big congratulations to the Lagos Legends for topping the table for the very first time. For the very first time, for topping the table, and it shows that there are so many things to come at the Final 4 coming up in I think next week or thereabouts.
Yes, on the 20th.
On the 20th, right? Okay, fine. Okay. It's the Final 4 coming up on the 20th. So I believe there will be more, a lot that will come out in that Final 8. And for the likes of Kwara Falcons, the likes of Nile University, the likes of Kano Pillars, so those teams, I will also say kudos to them for even putting up a big fight. In the final 8, but unfortunately it was the end of the road for them. They could not proceed through to the final 4. But I would say a very big kudos to them for their fight, and overall it was a very good show out over there in Port Harcourt during the final 8.
Okay, I want us to talk about Boko City Chief because I think it's a kind of concern to me and to every should I say every basketball fan out there. Boko City Chief oftentimes they take a very good lead, even right from their conference here. They will take a very good lead. They take a very good lead against Kano Pillars at Jos, about 20 or 30 point lead. They lost that game. Again, the same thing, they took a very good lead. Again, 9, they lost it. And again, Same syndrome repeated himself over and over again in the final 8 at Port Harcourt. They will take a very good lead, and again they'll just have, they don't know. I think they they have this thing like they don't even know how to maintain or keep up to their lead. When they take that good lead, they don't know how to build up and maintain it. Before you know, they lost. So I don't know. What do you think they should be looking at now that they were able to scale through the
Final.
the final 8, and they're in top 4 now. Now they're able to scale through. So what do you think they should be doing if you are to advise the coach and the team at large?
Okay, first of all, I would say could for them finding themselves in the final 4, though it was expected. There's one really don't really understand about Boko City Chief. You're already up there, 20-point lead, 15-point leads, you know, then all of a sudden you just blow it off in seconds or in minutes, you know. So for me, the advice I will have for them, now that they are already in the top 4, the advice I will have for them going forward, they should be more relaxed, and they should play more to the time. I remember when I was watching that match, I even put a call across to you, if you remember.
Yeah, true.
We were even discussing this. I put a call across to you in the heat of the match. You know, I was like, wow, what am I saying? This guy was supposed to, I don't want to call names, but this guy.
No, you can't. Of course, you analyze it. You can call name. It's not. You can. Why not?
Okay.
Yes.
You know, their point guard,
Abel.
with all due respect to him, Mr. Abel, you know, just 5 seconds down the.
Unfortunately, is my name, Sekou. What a coincidence.
I put a call across to you. I was like, what is wrong with Mr. Abel? You know, he's so experienced. He has gone to the bar like 2, 3, 4 times. You know, he has represented
2 times. He has gone to the bar twice. Yeah.
Twice, okay, and he knows this thing. So I was so surprised whether he became fugitive, whether, you know, you were already winning a team with 5 seconds to end the match. Was kill the time. Why not kill the time? Kill the time and run the 5 seconds off the clock, and you will be pronounced winner. So I was surprised he went and made the 2 baskets, and it was ball to the it was a ball to the River Hoopers, and they hit on the fast break and shot the 3, and it was a tie game. Guess what? Over time, River Hoopers had to calm the game down, use play to their strategy and everything, and that was how they won the game. You know, so for me, going forward, it's a good one that at least they saw the light at the end of the tunnel by qualifying for the last 4. But this time around, we should play more to the time. You know, when you are winning, be more coordinated. Play to the time. You don't need what are you rushing for? You don't need to rush.
Okay.
Always stop clock.
Okay, let's talk about
Put your eyes on the stop clock.
Let's talk about the final game on Sunday. If they can pull up that the result for the final day on Sunday.
Yes.
We saw Hoops and Reed lost to Boko City Chief with 1.62-63. Then we saw Nigerian Custom. This was the most important game. They needed a win for them to go ahead, because Kano Pillars was ahead of them. Nine was ahead of them. So they need to win that game and have a tie with 9, because the tie, if you check the log, you start they have a number of games with 9. I think it was the same 3. 9 won 3 games out of 7. They lost 4. Nigerian Custom won 3 games. And you know, FIBA rules, the head-to-head comes first before points. So with that, so they just needed to win. They needed to win that game against Kano Pillars, so that if they come a tie with 9, because 9 was in the 4th position before, if they come tie with 9, they'll go ahead of 9 because they've beaten 9 before. So, and that was what they did. They did the needful. They beat Kano Pillars 70-64. That is 6 points they beat Kano Pillars, and that took them up. Then we now saw nine also lost scandalously to Lagos Legends 63-93. That is over I think over 30 points, assuming my calculations are correct. Then we now saw River Upas, of course, had to do the needful after their defeat against Lagos Legends. They had to do the needful. They did over Kwara Falcons, which were, I think, were no disrespect. Kwara Falcons were the whipping boys in the tournament because they did not win any of their games. And they lost to Upas 83-69. I think they did very well in that last game, to be honest. Then that gives us the final, for which is Lagos Legends finished top, Upas finished second, and Boko City Chiefs finished third. Then we'll have Nigerian Custom. But when you look at these four teams now, do you see, and with the scare already, because even Boko City Chiefs gave Upas the fight of their life. If you see the scare, they scare Upas won that game because I think maybe home advantage, because they are home and they are more comfortable because of the backing of the fans. You get all those kind of things, also give them the momentum, because at a point in that game, they were trailing with 18 points at a point in that game. I think second quarter or thereabout. So, but I think the momentum came in because of maybe the cheering of the fans and stuff like that, home advantage syndrome and all those things. But the final four, what I wanted to look, the final four, and Isaiah Williams, was phenomenal. He was somebody that yes, it was something else.
It was even rumored that the Isaiah Williams is even now the Steph Curry of Nigeria.
But to be honest, I think he does everything that Steph Curry, because that Steph Curry shoots from all angles, and that is exactly what Isaiah Williams was doing. Yes, and that's what he was doing, and he was hitting those threes, and Upas capitalized on the the advantage of the talent of Isaiah Williams, and they were getting all those 3 points. He was hitting it back to back. If you see his stats, honestly, it's very, very impressive. You will not believe that this is the first time he's playing for that team. You think that he has been there for a very long time. But what I'm trying to say now, where I want us to look at critically now, is the final four, which is supposed to start on the 20th of this month in Port Harcourt State.
Yes.
We have two teams that Upas we have to be wary about, or we have to be very, very careful about, which is Lagos Legends and City Chief. Because Lagos Legends actually did everything and they won that game. City Chief also would have won that game if not for that last seconds mistake. Do you understand? Upas could have also, City Chiefs could have also won that game. Imagine Upas that has not lost for the past 3 seasons or so in the league. This is the 3rd season in a row. The past 2 seasons, they've not lost a game at all. This is the 3rd season in a row, and unfortunately, they now lose like 2 games. You could imagine. So, I'm just trying to imagine what the final four will look like. Do you see City doing it over again? Because I think there's a beef between City and I will not say beef, I'll say rivalry between City and River. They say they are the City are the titled men, while Upas are the kingsmen. So the kingsmen and the titled men, I don't know who is going to do it over. Is it the titled men that should be on top, or the kingsmen? Or the king? I don't know. Maybe. So I just want to get your thoughts about that. The final four.
Okay. With all due respect to River Upas for being the champions back to back for 2 seasons at a row, but the truth is this: you cannot continue to win it all, because the people you are winning are not also sleeping. You've been doing it back to back. You think the people that you have been doing it over are sleeping? They are not sleeping. It all showed out. It was clearly showed out during the final, during the final, the top 8. You know, it was showed out there. Now coming into the final four, River Upas, as I speak to you now, their legs are shaking. Their legs are shaking, because if it's not good, if the arrows are not going to come from the City Chief, the arrows will definitely come from Lagos Legends again. So they have to go back to their drawing board. They have to go back to themselves again and remember that they were champions, if at all. they know that they want to still become champions. Because as I tell you this time around, this final 8, my dear Mr. Abel Sunday, if you tell me that I should predict again,
of course, you are going to predict. Definitely, we'll get to that stage. You are going to predict.
right now, the table is shaking. The table is seriously shaking because anybody right now can just win.
Yes, true.
Looking at what happened. Yes, anybody can just win. It might come from the City Chiefs. It might come from the Lagos Legend that topped the final 8. It might also come from the same River Hoopers.
Yeah.
Like I will say, you cannot see. There's an adage that says, going to the top is not just only the thing, but maintaining and remaining at the top. That is where the tax is. Maintaining and remaining at the top. That is where the tax is. It's not about going to the top. Anybody can go to the top, but can you maintain being at the top? That is the question. So that should be a word for the River Hoopers and Coach Ogo's team. They have to do all it takes not to disgrace their fans out there in Port Harcourt, because it's their home ground. It's where they train. That is where they are from. So it will be too shameful to say that Boko City Chief or Lagos Legend becomes the champion of the 2025 MBBF season. It will be a shameful thing to see in front of their fans. In front of their fans. And you know what that means? Automatically, River Hoopers is not going for bar.
But Chris, as we wrap up, you know, Hoops and Reed. I was expecting that Hoops and Reed should be in the conversation when we're talking about top 4 this season, because they finished second last season.
No, I predicted. I predicted.
Yes,
remember when
yes, that's also yes.
I predicted. So I don't know. You see, just as teams, you see, like I would say, as some teams are becoming serious, some teams also are becoming so lukewarm. Some teams are pushing, they keep pushing, irrespective of the challenges that they are facing in the league, but they want to just keep pushing. Why some teams are already giving up? I also remember when MBBF was hosted, when the Premier League was hosted in Benin City. That was, if I'm not mistaken, just last season now.
That's last season, yes.
Yes, last season. When the Premier League was hosted in Benin City last season, Hoops and Reed gave them that's during the conference. They
narrowly escaped that game. I think they won that game with just 2 points. Yeah, they won that game with just 2 points.
You see, but all of a sudden, where is that team? Where are those boys? You cannot keep the players. You cannot keep them. You know. Now, Hoops and Reed cannot even qualify for the final 4 with all those fights of last season. So that is what I'm saying. Some teams are being serious, pushing, even in the midst of challenges, in the midst of so many things that we don't want to talk about now from MBBF. Why some teams just give up?
They finished 7th. They finished 7th, I think so, on the log. That's Hoops and Reed.
It's not,
they won just
with all due respect to Mr. Olumide, who knows basketball, who has played the game to the highest level in terms of playing in the NBA, you know. So I'm surprised that he doesn't know what to do concerning.
But again, I think he has with the squad I've seen this season, they are very young boys. I think if you can keep these ones again together till next season, I think they could do better. If you can keep them, just like what we said last season, that if you can keep those boys and bring them back this season, they would have done a whole lot. But quite unfortunate, he couldn't keep them. Well, let's go away from that.
Lagos Legend has taken his spot.
Yes.
Of course. Of course. Lagos Legend has taken his spot.
Yeah, correct. Okay, let's go away from that. Let's talk about D1 as we draw the curtain close for today's show.
Yes,
D1 is starting on the 23rd of this month. And that is National Division 1. It's starting on the 23rd of this month. And in Akure Atlantic Conference, while Savannah Conference is, I think, Mina here, right? Your team. What preparations are you guys, and what is the goal for this season?
Okay, I want to say a very big congratulations to High Flyers basketball of Benin City, Edo State, for participating, for fighting it out to ensure that they participate in the forthcoming Division 1 coming up in Akure in terms of the Atlantic Conference. It was a good fight for us. So now we have another fight to fight, you know. And when I mean fight now, we have a number of teams to play against, because our goal is not just only to participate. We are not participants. We are there to win the Division 1, and not just only winning the Division 1, dominating the conference, which is the Atlantic Conference. That when you talk about the Atlantic Conference in terms of Division 1 league, you cannot call that league without saying High Flyers is number 1. Just like how we have been singing with the River Hoopers being the number 1 for the past 2-3 seasons now. That is a statement we want to make. It is not just only about winning. It's not just only about qualifying into the Premier League. We want to become a household name. You know, we want to be there to dominate in the Atlantic Conference in terms of this league that we want to play. That people will even come out and say, we are even bigger than the league. We are bigger. I'm not trying to boast here, but I'm telling you what we have prepared for. Because series of preparations is on ground, they are on top gear, and we have done all our necessary homework. We have done. It's just that I don't want to start bringing up some tactics over, because I know this is a public space. I don't want my opponents to start hearing me on what we have done so far. I don't want my opponents that might be on the show right now, because I don't know where this show, because I know it's a public space. So I don't want my opponents to start hearing my tactics and what we have done so far. But by and large, what I can tell the people of Nigeria, Akure should wait for High Flyers. That's what I want to say.
Okay, on that note, Christian, and that's where we will draw the curtain on today's edition of P&B Sports Show. What a thrilling way to wrap up the Nigerian Basketball Premier League Final 8, a showcase of great talent and the bright future of Nigerian basketball. A big thank you to my guest analyst, Christian Osaigede, for sharing his insights, and to you, our amazing listeners, for always staying tuned. Thank you, Mr. Christian. Thank you so much for coming for the show.
Thank you so much. I'm most grateful to be on the show this morning. Thank you so much.
Okay, join us again next time for more stories, analysis, and updates from the world of sport. You can connect with us in all social media platforms on YouTube and Facebook at Politics and Business TV.English, on IG at P&B TV_English, on X at P&B TV_ENG. I'm Abel Sunday, reminding you to keep the passion alive and stay sporty. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, say goodbye.